On to international news now. It's been 7 weeks since Russia invaded Ukraine and there's still no sign of a ceasefire. Meetings in different parts of Europe have failed to bring peace. The war has affected global markets, pushing commodity prices to record highs. Even Ukrainians and Russians here in South Africa are feeling the pinch. eNCA contributor Mpho Lakaje spoke to some of them.
Над костром пролетает снежинка, как огромный седой вертолет.
When Russian tourist Yeni Geller arrived in Johannesburg in November, her plan was pretty straightforward. She would stay in South Africa for a few months and then move on to other parts of the continent. But on the 24th of February, her African safari came to an end.
The UK has placed further economic sanctions on Russia, this time targeting the Russian Federation.
With her country launching a military operation in neighboring Ukraine, Geller's pocket was hit really hard.
Has rolled into Ukraine from a number of different points.
I couldn't use my cards or withdraw cash because as the sanctions were like snowballing, basically all payment providers, all global payment providers disconnected Russian accounts from their service. So you could still do it in Russia, you could still use your cards in Russia, but as a person with a Russian account outside the country, I couldn't pay for anything, I couldn't withdraw cash, I couldn't do any operations, even pay online, nothing.
The only thing she could do was convince friends in Johannesburg to accommodate her until she could find a way to go home.
I'm stressed. I'm very stressed. It's the uncertainty that's killing you, actually. You don't actually know what's happening, and you're not sure how to react, how to prepare yourself to whatever is coming.
Not as stressed as Ukrainian national Natalia Brohausen. Since February, she's been watching her hometown of Vasilkov being turned to rubble.
Ukraine and Georgia as two countries must be members of the NATO forces.
All our theaters and beautiful buildings were historical buildings. Kiev was absolutely beautiful, and Vasilkov was where I grew up. It was like a happy, beautiful place. It was like a lot of children, a lot of young families live there. Everybody evacuate now.
Diana Lazowska has traveled from Kiev to the Polish border with her mother, a son and daughter.
And those who left the area include her mother and brother, who are now seeking refuge in Germany.
How was your journey?
The least she can do is to find ways to help them remotely.
Yeah. How do you feel about what is going on back home?
It's a lot which you have to keep inside, calm and be strong. And I tell myself, be calm, be strong, because my family, my mom, my brother and his wife, they have no one else to support. They have no family, no one. So they have only us who would be able to support them, at least financially. So I have to be strong, and I said, be optimistic. Everything's gonna be fine.
But Ukrainians and Russians aren't the only ones affected by the war. Desrain Dong, a farmer in Gauteng's Centurion, relies on agricultural products from Europe to keep her business running.
Fertilizers are going to be costly because, I don't know if you know this, but Russia is one of the biggest suppliers, distributors of fertilizer and grain. Now, grain affects us directly as well because to make certain animals, we also keep animals. So, many of our animals do eat grain. So if grain is a short supply, you're also going to have higher cost. We're going into winter. It's going to affect us in terms of the cost of feeding our animals. So it's affecting the animal production. It is also going to affect the crop production.
That, in turn, influences the prices of some of the basic items you and I purchase on a regular basis. But not only that, energy supply around the world has been interrupted. A litre of petrol, for example, cost you 19 Rand 61 at the start of the year. Today, you pay close to 22 rand.
South Africa gets its fuel from places like Singapore, Malaysia, the Middle East, the Gulf areas. The reason the issue or the issue in the Ukraine is having an effect locally is because it's impacting on international oil prices. And it's impacting on international oil prices because it's a supply and demand issue.
Economists warn if the conflict continues, the world will have to brace for even tougher times ahead. Mpho Lakaje, Johannesburg.